Welcome into the PHNX Daily Bet Show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Shane Diefenbach, joined, as always, by Johnny Venerable. How are you feeling, Johnny?
I'm good. Ready to talk some college football with you ahead of a pretty loaded Saturday of conference play, Shano.
Yeah, it's getting a little weird. I tweeted that out, put it in the description. What is going on? I feel like, I mean, obviously, I think the weirdest thing is the TCU Kansas matchup that is happening on College Gameday, which nobody expected. Both teams 5-0, both teams ranked in the top 25. Pretenders or contenders, Johnny?
Yeah, God, I don't know. Kansas, to me, that's like one of the more fun stories in college football. Do I consider them a contender? I do not. TCU, about 5-6 years ago, with Gary Patterson, was consistently in the top 15, and that was a real program that churned out pros. I think the late Jeff Gladney, who played cornerback for the Vikings and the Cardinals, went to TCU. They used to churn out first rounders. They have not been relevant for some time, so it's nice to see the Horned Frogs kind of back in the mix. But no, this is what makes college football great when you get these kind of storylines. But like true contenders for like let's say the Final Four, no chance.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get into college football, but there is something that I just saw on Twitter. DraftKings tweeted this. The Eagles, they have a special with the Eagles. Who is going to hand them their first loss of the year?
Ooh.
Cardinals are obviously the favorite at plus 200 or plus 190 now is their money line. But then you can get some value going down the line. So, Johnny, first and foremost, do the Cardinals win on Sunday?
I made a rule. I was on a Philly podcast yesterday. I'm not going to pick the Cardinals at home until they win at home. They have not won a home game in almost a calendar year. October 24th of last year against the Houston Texans. It's the last time they won at home. Well, I think they match up well. I think they're getting healthier. I think it's going to be a competitive game, but it's difficult to bet on a team that has gone 12 months without winning at their own stadium. They're 11-1 in their last 12 road games. I can't explain it. Vegas probably can't explain it either. The line to me, I think, started at 6, then it went down to 5. It's now 5.5. Philadelphia. I'll just say this. Jalen Hurts hasn't had to play from behind this year, but the Cardinals don't start fast. They have scored no first quarter points. So if you're asking me, like, if I'm a betting person, objectively speaking, putting my love for the Redbirds aside, I would say Philadelphia probably wins on Sunday.
Okay. Well, then going down the line, where do you find the most value? I like the Cowboys. It's the second favorite at plus 450. They play them next week.
Yeah.
This next week. They are.
Is that in Dallas or is that in Philadelphia?
That one's in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if Cooper Rush goes into Philly.
Yeah. I didn't think Cooper Rush would win any games, though. The reason why I say this is because right now I think they're plus 180 to win. So if you think the Eagles are going to win on this Sunday against the Cardinals, you can get some value at plus 450 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And then it goes Steelers plus 600, Packers plus 1,000, which I don't think is until later. That's why it's so low. Colts, Texans, Commanders, Giants, all around that area. And then
I'm going to tell you right now, listening to hear you say that, if the Cardinals don't beat them, and I don't think the Packers match up well at all with Philadelphia. I think the Philadelphia could roll the Packers in their limited offense. I mean, Philly could stack up 10, 11 wins real quick, kind of like the Cardinals did last year. So this is to me, unless they just have a complete blunder against a Houston or a Pittsburgh team that aren't very good, you could be looking at the 1 seed in the NFC. I know it's early, but they have the best roster. We talked about yesterday, the best roster in the NFC easily, and maybe the NFL.
Yeah. Looking at their schedule, it goes Cowboys, Steelers, Texans, Commanders.
Win.
Yeah. And then, getting the Packers, I don't like I think the Packers are bad, though.
They are bad. And the Eagles, that's a kind of game.
Well,
no, that's not happening. But the Packers could get boat raced by the Eagles. They do not do well. That defense does not do well against mobile quarterbacks. And I think there's too much firepower, and I don't know what the Packers do well. Mark in the chat, Detroit money line, it might be a play. So the Detroit Lions, I think, are maybe a 4 or 5 point dog at New England this weekend. Neutral field, I would say, hell yeah, pound the Lions. Patriots are limited. We talked about it, Mark, on Guess the Lines on Monday. Like, can you see Dan Campbell going into New England and beating Bill Belichick? I don't know if my eyes can see that, even if they're starting a third string quarterback. I've watched Bill Belichick win games with defense and special teams. but this is the number one offense. It's going to be one of the most intriguing games of the weekend between two bad teams.
Yeah, the line is now +3. Detroit is
See,
the dog. So
people are hammering the Patriots. No one believes in Detroit.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, I
say
picked the Lions to win the North before the season. I thought they would be good.
Yeah, their defense is not. All right, this is a college football show. We'll talk more of the NFL tomorrow and obviously Friday. Give out all our picks for Sunday, so make sure to tune in then. But for today, we got to talk some college football, and there's some fun matchups this weekend, specifically in the Pac-12. I got a couple of them on my card, but before we get there, the only place to bet on it is DraftKings Sportsbook app. The NFL is great, but college football, something about a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. watching a really bad team just get boat raced when you have Alabama -56.5, and you're just praying that Bryce Young stays in the game. It's just really fun. So download it today. Use that promo code PHNX. And the NFL season is in full swing, so you can get some stepped up same game parlay action. But when you bet just $5 on any NFL team to win, you get $200 in free bets if they do win. So if you do think that Mr. Jared Goff is going to go in there and beat Bill Belichick, you can bet $5 and get $200 in free bets if you're a new customer. But as I said, the stepped up same game parlays for the NFL is fantastic. Boost your winnings with every single leg you add. I've seen some people get really creative with this. I saw some people over the weekend get some odds boosts on anytime touchdown scores in the same game parlay X action that you can do, which is combining multiple same game parlays into one big parlay, getting a huge payout. So make sure to go ahead and check all of that out at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code PHNX, DraftKings Sportsbook app. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See those show notes for more details. All righty, good sir. Let's talk about some college football. We'll go with me first. This is what I'm liking. I'm liking Arkansas +9.5. Look, Arkansas did not perform well. They were one of my wagons at the start of this year just because of how much I like teams that just impose their will physically and run the football. They love to do that. And they're at Mississippi State this week. Mississippi State, kind of fraudulent in my opinion. And I think that +9.5 is a little bit of a signal telling people to take Mississippi State, but I don't believe it. So I'm taking them +9.5. This is my favorite pick. I might damn near make this my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week, but we'll wait until Friday for that. This is my lock of the week. It's Washington at ASU. Very close with this ASU team. Watch them all the time, clearly. PHNX on Devils live every day at 3 p.m. But under 57 points, that feels like a lock. Washington hasn't won in Tempe in so long. I think they're 1-11 or something in the last 12 visits, something ridiculous like that. I don't know if ASU wins this game. I don't expect a lot of points. I don't expect Washington to look good. They didn't look good last week. ASU looked a lot better last week. Their defense is still a little questionable, but it was also against Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison. I know Michael Penix Jr. is very, very good at the quarterback position, but I just don't think then these two teams combined for 57 points. I'm taking the under in that game. And then tonight, a banger, SMU at UCF. Taking the under in that game at 63. That's too many points to be had on a Wednesday night. Get that out of here. Under 63 is my pick for that game. And then Oregon -13.5. This has nothing to do with U of A, guys. I know I'm an ASU guy, but I promise it's not because I hate U of A. I just think Oregon is that damn good. I think Oregon steamrolls them. People still don't believe in Bo Nix, and that's fair. Bo Nix has some, back and forth games. He'll go off one game over 500 yards and then throw 4 interceptions. I don't think this is one of those games, though. I don't think that Arizona's defense can smother him enough. Taking the Ducks -13.5 at Arizona. It's actually down to -13 now.
Interesting. Too many unders for my liking, Shano. I like to have fun with my bets.
Yeah, I like to win mine.
Okay, that's cute. Speaking of cuties, here are my bets for this weekend college football. A lot of frauds on display. A couple of frauds in the Texas-Oklahoma game. Steve Sarkisian is a fraud, but a bigger fraud. Brent Venables should have probably hung out at Clemson a little longer and taken a mid-major job because he is not equipped to handle.
Should have added an R to his name as well.
Yeah, no, he does not deserve venerable. The venerable last name, Brent Venables. You get the, I'm riding first class. He's back there and coach, and his defense looks like they should be taking a Greyhound because they look terrible. If you can't master your own side of the ball, Brent Venables, what would you say you do here. And meanwhile, Lincoln Riley's kicking all kinds of ass at USC. Speaking of kicking ass, remember when everybody dogged on my little guy down in LSU? You know what? Look at LSU after that Florida State loss. Oh, I don't know. They're undefeated, and they're undefeated in conference play. I think they beat Tennessee this weekend in LSU. And I'm excited to see where Brian Kelly's going to take this team. I know you've got your ex at quarterback. He's playing well. You know who else is playing well? The Michigan Wolverines. They're undefeated. They get to play an Indiana team that just lost to Nebraska. That line is not nearly big enough. I know it's in Indiana. -22. It should be -42. I think Michigan shuts out Indiana. I think they put up 35 to 40 points. And then Northwestern, that reminds me of Northwestern Mutual when I'm looking at that. It's Northwestern money line. They get to host the Chrisless Wisconsin Badgers. And I'm not a big buyer right now in our coach gets fired and then we rally. We haven't seen it yet this year for a marquee top 25-esque program. I think Northwestern behind Pat Fitzgerald gets the dub. I don't know why Wisconsin is favored in this game. Northwestern's been a feisty team this year. They're not great, but I think they're going to be bowl eligible at the end of the year, +295. I'm giving you some big payouts here, ladies and gentlemen, with a bunch of programs I do not believe in. It's crazy. Wisconsin fired their coach, and I think I read that if they had just waited like 2 more weeks, that the buyout would have been half of what they were ended up paying them, and they're just like, whatever, we have ridiculous amount of money, get him out of here. And he won like 9 games last year. So
yeah,
fraud Oklahoma, fraud Texas, fraud Wisconsin, frauds everywhere.
Yeah, I was looking at the Michigan spread. The only thing that scared me is giving up 14 points to Iowa last week and not covering that spread. But Indiana's gross. But yeah, I don't mind that pick. LSU, I was also looking at that spread, and I do like it. I do like that pick. I'm just burned from last week when I took LSU minus, I think, 8.5, and they were down the entire game to Auburn. It was just it was gross. But I do like their money line in this spot.
People acted after that loss to FSU without his own players that Brian Kelly couldn't coach anymore. I'm sorry. Yeah. I've watched him take a bunch of B and C level recruits at Notre Dame because you can't get marquee players there and be a Final Four team. Like he's a goober. I don't like him as a person. He's fake, but he's a damn good college football coach. He's a winner.
Yeah. Johnny, how about these next 5 games for LSU? At home against Tennessee, which is the one we're picking. Then at the Swamp, at Florida, then at home against number 9 Ole Miss, then at home against number 1 Alabama, and then on the road at previously ranked Arkansas. That is a tough slate for Mr. Jaden Daniels.
That's why you get paid 8-9 figures in the SEC, not 8-9 figures, but 7 or 8 figures in the SEC.
Yeah, you know what we're not doing with Jaden? We're not calling him JD5 anymore because there's a new JD, and his name is JD6. Jalen Daniels from Kansas. He is truly him. And I'm excited to see him play College Gameday 9 a.m. Fired up for that game. Fired up for everything. Johnny, do you have a prediction for TCU Kansas before we get out of here?
Kansas money line. I like to see this keeping going here. I mean, I'm a fun guy. I like having fun. And listen, unlike Cincinnati last year, Kansas plays in a Power 5 conference, so I have no reason to root against them. If they represent their conference, that's all better for it. And I think I said on our tailgate show every Sunday morning, you can catch myself, Shane, Bo Brock, and Saul Bookman, 9 a.m. I think I said last weekend, I want to see 4 conferences represented because I feel like we're in the last couple years of the Power 5. I think it'll be gone soon, obviously.
Yep. The money line right now for Kansas straight up is +215. Don't hate it, but I'm staying away from that game. But I'm excited to watch it nonetheless because, guys, contrary to popular belief, you don't have to bet on every game, which sometimes I have to step away from. 9 a.m. Make sure to watch that. It's going to be a banger. But until tomorrow, we'll see you later. We're here every Monday through Friday at noon on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter at Shane Deef. Follow Johnny on Twitter at Johnny Venerable. Follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_bets. And we'll see you tomorrow, every Monday through Friday, live right here. Peace, love, and JD6.